very good morning to you. Welcome to the Monday edition of Trending Issues. Of course, it comes to you live from AF Television. Happy New Week to you. And how are you? I hope your weekend went just fine. And I hope also that you are up. Maybe you've gone to your business, your place of work, wherever you are watching us. Thank you so much for joining us. Today's edition is a brand new day and it's a brand new edition of Trending Issues. My name is still Faith Okan. We know how we'll do it. We'll talk about issues that are trending in Nigeria and of course outside Nigeria. We'll talk about it. You have the opportunity to drop your comments, make your contributions on all the matters, all the topics that are trending, and we'll take as much as we can. All right, quickly, let's start with what is happening with some of the online loan apps we have. Yes, sometime here on Trending Issues, we brought you a report that some of the loan apps have gone to invade some person's privacy, some of the debtors' privacy, where we had some obituaries of persons that are still alive. This loan app, the company, I call it a company or individuals, I don't know, they went to an extent of publishing obituaries of debtors who are still alive. And of course, that report sparked reactions, and some people have been saying, why would an app or a company do such a thing when these people are still alive, even if they are owing and they have not been able to pay. But now a good news has come up as the federal government has launched a clampdown on some of these online loan apps that we have. Last weekend we had the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Agency, Commission, that is the FCCPC, that's talking about the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission in conjunction with the ICPC and some other regulatory bodies. They launched a clampdown on some of these companies that are known. You know, some of them are physical, some are just online. There, some just have apps. They don't have an office operating. Once you just download the app, that ends it. You cannot make a physical contact. But then these ones that has some physical contact, that's talking about an office in Lagos, the FCCPC and ICPC and others, including the Human Rights Commission, went to these companies and they locked down those places in Lagos, some of the areas in Lagos, about two of them. And one of the companies was a Soko Lending Company. And this Soko Lending Company has so many apps, loan apps. We'll just give you some of them under Soko Lending Company. Just download it, not knowing that it is still one company running it. Okay, we have a Soko Loan, we have a Fast Money, we have a Go Cash, we have All Cash, Cash, Speedy Choice, Easy Money, so many of them under Soko Lending Company. And the good news is that this Soko Lending Company was one of the companies that was clamped down over the weekend, and the FCCPC is saying you people will not operate because you do not have an operational license, you're not registered with CSC, and you cannot operate as such. But then some reports are saying that this company, especially the Soko Loan Company, went back to business after a few hours. The FCCPC and others visited the company, but then it's an unverified report there. But then it's a good thing that the federal government is trying to do something to save Nigerians. You know, some of these apps, when you go online, they are on app stores, Google Play stores and every other thing. When you Google them, you download them, and then you see that this software is programmed in such a way that once you download the app into your phone, your contact, every phone number in your contact list will automatically upload to the website, and that is why they can have access to your contacts. And then if you're not able to pay as and when due, they will start sending unwarranted text messages to your contact list, and of course to the extent of publishing obituaries of some persons that are still alive. Of course, it is not a good thing, and Nigerians should take note. That is to say, please stay away from some of these apps. Some of them are not genuine, some are just there running without license. And then how do you know that this particular app is not legit, is not a legitimate app? You can just Google their website, you can just check reviews. Yes, once you want to download an app, you see some reviews. Some are saying yes, download, some are saying no, do not download. So you have to take adequate precaution before victim to some of these persons. Of course, you know that the loan app, they came into existence much when we had the COVID-19, when we were on lockdown, and some people needed money, yes, and these persons try to use that as an advantage to exploit some persons with high interest rates and then invading their privacy. But now the federal government is doing something to clamp down on those ones that are not legally allowed to operate in Nigeria. And of course, they've told Google Play Store to bring down some of these apps that are not allowed to operate, but then they are online. So you have to be careful whatever you are doing, especially online. You need to be careful so that you don't fall victim to fraudulent activities, so you don't regret tomorrow. All right, that is it. I hope you've taken that advice from Trending Issues AF Television. Join us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. It is all there. You can join us live. Drop your comments and your contributions on the topic that we are talking about. Of course, you can read our news content from our website, and you will not regret doing that. All right, let's go ahead on today's edition of Trending Issues. Let's go over to what is happening in the Nigerian police force. A good news to some persons, but then some persons are not seeing it as a good news. Generally, some are saying this is not what the Nigerian police force needs at the moment. But then when something good comes up, we should congratulate the police force. And we're talking about the IGP, that is the Inspector General of Police, in the person of Usman Akali Baba, and he has ordered officers on the Nigerian police force, you are no longer allowed to wear unapproved uniforms when you're on duty. You know, sometimes when you go to the streets and the roads, you see some of Nigerian police force personnel on the road wearing muftis and wearing polo. You cannot identify them, and you cannot say, okay, this is a legal officer under the Nigerian police force. You cannot say this is not a Nigerian police force officer, because they do not have the approved uniform. You know, the approved uniform, you have the name tag crested on it, but then some of them just flaunt, remove the uniforms and then wear polos and every other thing they want. But now the IGP is saying no more wearing of polos, no more wearing of mufti or anything. Some are just, you see them write Mopo, some Scorpion, just some you see Nigerian police force. But then the main means of identification, which is your name, it is not indicated on that uniform. But now the IGP is saying that we will no longer tolerate it. If you want to be on duty, if you're at the checkpoint, if you're on stop and search, wherever you are, so far that you are on duty and you are a member of the Nigerian police force, you must wear the approved uniform, and some of the approved uniform will know, and that uniform must have the name tag. Of course, it's a good thing, although some persons are saying that this is not what Nigerian police force need. They need total reformation, but then this is part of the reformation. Of course, sometime last 2 weeks, the IGP also did something which has sparked reactions, and some are supporting him, some are saying no, it is still not what we need. We're talking about the hijab. The female officers and the Nigerian police force now are allowed to wear hijab, to wear studded earrings. It is optional, yes, you can just wear it if you want. Of course, the IGP is saying that this is for inclusion, female inclusion, and the religion diversity. Of course, we hope that the IGP, in his bid to reform the Nigerian police force, will succeed. All right, let's just get your view on that ban on unapproved uniforms worn by Nigerian police officers on the road, and of course wherever they are doing their duties. What do you think? Do you think it's a good move by the IGP to say no, we will no longer tolerate unapproved uniforms by personnel of the Nigerian police force? Just drop your comments and your contributions on our social media platforms this morning, and we will take it on Trending Issues AF Television. All right, still on the force matter, we've talked about the Nigerian police force. Let's go back to the Nigerian military. Of course, the video has been trending for the past few days, especially last weekend, and an officer of the Nigerian army was seen weeping in a video, and he was alleged to have been caught collecting bribe, and then he was caught by his superior. Let's just take a look at that video, and we'll come back to talk more about it.
Give me the money. I said, give me the money. Give me the money. What is this you are doing? Give me the money. Don't worry, give me the money. Give me the money. That's why they come here. Yes, after you are behaving like a lance corporal, a private soldier. Don't worry, give me the money. That's the only thing I need from you. Give me the money.
Just give her face now. Give her.
This is not the money. It's give me the one you collected from that trailer.
See how people
I can't stop, Papa. See, give me the one you collected from that trailer. Give me the money. I said, give me the money. Give me the money. What is this you are doing? Give me the money. Don't worry, give me the money. Give me the money.
I don't hold for me,
That's why they come here.
I don't hold for me.
Yes, after you are behaving like a lance corporal, a private soldier. Don't worry, give me the money. That's the only thing I need from you. Give me the money.
Just give her face now. Give her.
This is not the money. It's give me the one you collected from that trailer.
See how people
See, give me the one you collected from that trailer.
Alright, that video of a personnel of the Nigerian army weeping, and of course he is pleading that he has tarried in the Nigerian army. He has stayed for so long, and then he cannot lose his job. But then it's a very pathetic situation, and a funny one at that. At the same time, yes, it's funny, and at the same time it's pathetic, because this guy is saying, please, I don't old for this Nigerian army, so he cannot lose his job now. It's just like working for maybe 30 years, and you have 5 more years to retire if you're in the civil service, and then something comes up, and then you're sacked. And then this guy is pleading, but then he knows so well that under the Nigerian army and every other force, paramilitary or military, whatever it be the case, you are not allowed to take bribe. But then he went against that rule, that order, which is very transparent. Everybody knows about it. You are not allowed to take a bribe. Now he is pleading, I don't want to get sacked. I've stayed so long in the Nigerian army, and I cannot risk getting some. Maybe he has a family, and he has remembered he has children, he has a wife, he has maybe parents, grandparents, and every other thing. But then why didn't he think about these people before going into such? And of course, bribery is a very wrong thing to do, but then it's unfortunate that especially when you go to the roads, even the Nigerian police force, the Nigerian army, even the FRS, that is the Federal Road Safety Corps, those ones baffles me, because these guys are doing some unbelievable things. When you're traveling, just watch them, and some of them don't even do it directly. They recruit some persons to collect money for them and then give back to them. You will not know if you're not paying adequate attention. Just pay attention if you're traveling, especially, and when you get to the checkpoint where the operatives of the FRS, we're talking about the Road Safety Corps, where they are maybe checking vehicles, just take notice, watch your driver, and you will see maybe all these young men, they will just collect money from the driver, and then they'll go back and give to these guys as the FRSC persons. It is not a very good thing. Even in offices, we have so many cases of bribery and corruption, and we hope that the needful will be done to ensure that Nigeria is free from every atom of bribery and corruption. Now, we don't even know if that is possible, because I think bribery has eaten deep into Nigeria, and of course everybody is corrupt. Yes, it depends. The saying goes that it depends on how much you are worth, how much you can take. If you tell me you will give me 10 million naira for me to give you this, then I will consider, maybe am I worth 10 million naira? Is this thing worth 10 million naira? But then we are saying no to bribe, we are saying no to corruption, all these persons on the road. Of course, the leaders of the Nigerian police, army, and all these military and paramilitary have said, please stop giving bribe, and if you see cases of bribery, just report to the relevant authority. But then, how long will it continue? And then if you report, even if you have the mind to do that, will they do the needful? Of course, that video have trended, and some people have so many reactions to that, and we hope that he has learned his lesson, and some other persons that are in his position will learn their lesson. Of course, that is to say, stay away from bribery, stay away from corruption. If you're on the road as a policeman, as a military person, as a paramilitary, do your job diligently and stay away from anything that will tarnish your image. Alright, trending issues, AF television this morning. Let's take some of the comments we have already on our social media platforms, and we'll come back to continue with the topics that we have trending in Nigeria today. We have Kenneth Loxley Thomas. He's saying, things they happen. All right, that is Kenneth there. Ikechku Emeka Anamekwe says, these guys are horrible, and he dropped another comment and he said, very good. All right, these are some of the comments we have. Just keep the comments coming on Trending Issues AF Television those beautiful Monday morning. I will take as much as we can. All right, let's move ahead to another issue that is trending, and of course it has to do with a popular general overseer. This story is so funny, but then it just boils down to tell us that most of our pastors do not do what they do. Yes, most of them do not do what they do with their clear eyes. Most of the things we'll see doesn't come from the Holy Spirit. It doesn't come from God. It comes from some other substances. Of course, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency arrested one pastor. His name is Reverend Ugochukwu Emmanuel Ekwen, and he's General Overseer of Christ Living Hope Church. And this church is located in Isua Nyocha, Nembaku Road, Oka, in Oka North Local Government Area of Anambra State. That is where the church is headquartered. And of course, the Reverend is said to have 2 other branches in Lagos and Abuja. Let's say he has a branch in Anambra, that is the headquarters. He has a branch in Lagos and he has a branch in Anambra. So we're talking about Reverend Ugochukwu Emmanuel Ekwen, General Overseer of Christ Living Hope Church. He was arrested by the operatives of the NDLEA in Muritala Mohammed Airport, Lagos. He was not just arrested alone. He was arrested with 54 sticks of drugs, illegal drugs. And some persons have been wondering, what is a pastor, a minister of God, so to say, doing with illegal drugs in his possession? Of course, according to the NDLEA, this pastor, the general overseer of his church, with 3 branches, one in Anambra, one in Lagos, he must be a very big man, one in Abuja as well. He said he wanted to use it, he was actually going for a crusade in Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, and the crusade is supposed to last for 3 weeks, and then he said that I was supposed to use these 54 sticks during my 3 days stay in Kenya. But then luck ran out on him. God turned his back on him, let's just put it like that, and he was caught by operatives of the NDLEA in Muritala Mohammed Airport. And of course, some persons have reacted, and some are saying, oh, does it mean that pastors do this? Yes, some of them do it. That is not to say that we don't have good pastors. Yes, we have some good pastors and people that are fighting for the work of God, but then we have these bad eggs who are trying to change God's provision and God's ordinance. And of course, God will not allow that to happen. And some have been wondering if this church will continue booming, if it will close, or it will still flourishing as it used to be. But then this guy has been arrested, and the drugs is with the NDLEA. Of course, investigations are still on, and probably he will be arraigned in court or whatever be. But then, that is to say, please stay away from crime. We usually tell you here on Trending Issues, stay away from activities, some things that will not bring you good or people around you good. Of course, this pastor has tarnished his image. Now the Kenya 3 Weeks Crusade has been suspended, and his name has been written on the mud, of course, not on the sands of time. All right, that is it there with the pastor there, a very young man. Of course, the very sad thing, maybe a soul has been lost, but then we hope that the needful will be done. Maybe he'll give his life back to Christ. And God, of course, God is a loving Father. He will forgive him of his sins. All right, let's take the last story we have on Trending Issues, and it has to do with the ASUU, the Academic Staff Union of Universities. We know for some time now, for some years, previous governments have sat on ASUU's demand, and we've seen series of strike action, series of come to the negotiation table, series of okay, let's go back to the classroom, series of oh, we do not agree, you have not met our demands. And then people are asking, will these ASUU demands ever be met in Nigeria? And the answer may be yes, it may be no. And of course, I recall on February 14, when we're celebrating Valentine, ASUU announced that they were embarking on a 1-month warning strike action. And of course, today is just a few days. Today is 14th years, and that strike was supposed to elapse today. But then they had a meeting last night, and all hands were just on deck. Some people were panicking. Oh, what will be the outcome of this ASUU meeting with the federal government and their neck? But then it did not turn out well, because the National Executive Council of ASUU met last night, that is Sunday night, in Abuja, and then they resolved to continue their strike action. That is to say that they have extended the strike action by 2 months that is 8 weeks, and our children, our brothers and sisters, our students are still going to stay in the house for another 2 months. And of course, the federal government is yet to meet their demands. Of course, you know that the demands borders on the revitalization fund, IP's payment platform, and every other thing. And then the 2009 agreement that the federal government has said, oh, please come, let's renegotiate. We do not have these trillions and billions of naira that you are calling. And they also have said, no, you must meet the agreement that we have reached in 2009. But then the federal government is saying, no, we do not have this money. Of course, the Federal Ministry of Education has said that they will not reach an agreement with ASUU on gunpoint. I don't know who is with the gun, if it's ASUU. But then what we are saying is the relevant authorities should meld into the situation so that our students will go back to school. This is 2 months again, 1 month gone. That is 1 whole semester gone. And then when they come back eventually, we're still scampering to write exams, which is not, of course, good for the future of our students. All right, that is how we call it a wrap on today's edition of Trending Issues. Let's take one more comment before we go. And it's coming from Mazi Chibuzo. And he wrote, had it been he succeeded, the pastor, I mean his members will be shouting, his grace is sufficient. All right, that is Mazi Chibuzo reacting to that general overseer that was arrested. Of course, yes, had it been he succeeded and he went for that 3 weeks Kenya crusade, he must have been jumping. Oh, the Lord said, while it was not the Lord saying, maybe some other thing he's saying. All right, that is it, left to him with his God to sort that one out. All right, thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of Trending Issues. Join us on all our social media platforms or our programs. Watch our website, read news content coming from Nigeria and of course outside Nigeria, and you will not regret indeed. My name is still Faith Okawa. Thank you so much for joining us. Until I come your way next time, it is bye for now.